it is past the 3 o'clock hour, so I'm going to call to our meeting to order of the Norte Local Transportation Commission this May 2nd, and invite everyone, if you would, to join with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will open up with the public comment period. Anyone wishing to make public comments regarding matters either on or off the agenda within the jurisdiction of the commission may do so at this time. However, the commission is not permitted to act on non-agendized items. Seeing we don't have a full house here in public, do we have any public comments online? None?
There are no attendees online at this time.
All right, we will close public comment and we will move to item number 4 and adjourn to the, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so used to things that are right here in front of me. Would you call the roll, Tamara?
Susan,
Susan,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Thank you. No.
Commissioner Altman?
Here.
Commissioner Borges?
Here.
Commissioner Greeno?
Here.
Commissioner Howard?
Here.
Commissioner Short?
Here.
Policy Advisory Member Suresh Ratnam?
Yeah.
Chair Inscore.
Here. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to adjourn to the Policy Advisory Committee, and we have items on consent, the minutes from March 7th, the 2023 Economic Demographic Profile, and the Low Carbon Transit Operations Program. Tamara, would you like one of us to pull item B? I know you sent us out an email about corrections. Anything that you need to talk about?
Nope.
All right, then I will, do we have any public comment on things on consent?
Move to approve consent.
Second, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion and a second. Would you please pull the vote?
Commissioner Short?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Commissioner Greeno?
Yes.
Commissioner Borges?
Yes.
Commissioner Altman?
Yes.
Policy Advisory Member Suresh Ratnam?
Yes.
And Chair Inscore.
Yes. All right, under Policy and Administrative, we have the 2023-24 overall work program. We've looked at this previously, but it's brought back to us for approval today. Tamara, anything you'd like to highlight about this?
Yes. Let me get to my page here. Response to comments. Okay, so the overall work program is the work program that we discussed on multiple times this year. I'm bringing it back in its final form. Oftentimes we have this just on the consent agenda because we've looked at it so often. There were a couple of things that I wanted to note for the future, and so we have it in front of you. And one of those things is that next year, this work program does not have the Regional Transportation Plan update in it. Our RTP update is due by December 2024. Generally, the cost of that project is so great that I need to bridge it over 2 years. I will be updating this, we'll be updating this overall work program when we do the reconciliation in September, October, generally sometime in there. And we'll be adding the overall work program to it in to help us get started, and then we'll finish it up before December 2024 to keep on our schedule. So it's, it's the core work of the Transportation Commission is to keep a current regional transportation plan. And the city and county both need for us to do that to coincide with their own long-range planning documents. So the city and county can find themselves in a bit of hot water if we're not on time. So I sort of really looked around about how to do this. And so I do have a plan for amending this to bring in the overall work program with the reconciliation dollars and then bridging it over the fiscal year, finishing it up by December 2024 to keep us on schedule. So I wanted to note that. And the rest of it is pretty much as we talked about, without anything to bring your attention to.
Great. All right. Any questions for Tamara? All right. Any public comment? Let's take it we still don't have any public attendees online.
No.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve Resolution 2023-5. Would you please poll the vote?
Policy Advisory Member Suresh Ratnam,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Greeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Borges.
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chair Inscore.
Yes. All right, moving on to discussion items. The South Beach Climate Change Adaptation Plan update.
So this was a project that we quickly moved through, and I've been informally notified that this grant is going to be awarded. It will be some time before we get all those documents in place, and then we will be negotiating a final scope of work. We plan to negotiate a final scope of work. I've had conversations with Caltrans and our partner, our two partners, the Elk Valley Rancheria and the Crescent City Harbor District, about this. Caltrans has asked us to add $100,000 to the scope of work and to accommodate more analysis. So we requested $190,000. It will probably be more like a $290,000 grant by the time we're done with it. But I wanted to give you an informal, this is the conversation, these are the conversations that we're having right now about that work, and that we scored in the high 90s on our grant application. So yay for us. And yeah, so that's it on the climate change adaptation plan. The US 199 at Elk Valley, should they stop first?
No,
or
go
keep
ahead.
Okay. The 199 at Elk Valley Crossroad and Safety Corridor, I decided to group those because it's still about Highway US 199 and includes the location. So we had our first project delivery team meeting for US 199 at Elk Valley Crossroad about a week or so ago. A meeting I thought I'd never attend. So thank you, all of the forces that came together to make that happen. The community members, Chris Howard banging on it all this time, my constant poking, we need to do it, we need to do it. I mean, it's been a long time coming. But having a project delivery team meeting is a real big step and acknowledgement that we're delivering this project. And so I just wanted to give you an update about that. We are also having a meeting later in the week to our second meeting regarding the safety corridor. And so we'll be receiving additional data and working to move the safety corridor documents forward. And go ahead, Chris. Oh, sorry, not my meeting.
I think Tamara's enthusiasm, I don't know if that's the appropriate word, not ever thinking we're going to be there. That may have been appropriate, but there's been a lot of effort, intentional effort, to get us to that day where Caltrans prioritized this and said yes. And not only said yes, it took a funding priority of this commission's off our plate and put it on Caltrans' safety bucket list, which puts it on their place to pay for. And it was a safety issue, no question, no doubt. I just have to recognize our leadership, our director, and the efforts to navigate a very tricky set of waters to get us to that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Good work. Rowdy Creek?
We have a Rowdy Creek safety project that we are moving forward with. And so we had a project delivery team meeting about that, a project information meeting, some preliminary thoughts about scoping, and there's a bit of out-of-box thinking on that project, which I'm really encouraged by. That, some of the folks at Caltrans are a little bit less linear, at least right now, or seem to be to me. Sometimes they're, they're very linear in their thinking, and they've gotten a little bit broader on this one. And I think that we end up with better work when everybody contributes the ideas. So I'm encouraged about the Rowdy Creek Safety Project, and that's another area where we've just had a lot of collisions, where Rowdy Creek Road connects to US 101 in the Smith River area.
And if I could add to that, in District 3, the 101 corridor north of the Dr. Fine Bridge is really a tragic area for a lot of reasons. But in particular, the areas of focus around Riley Creek right now, around Timbers Boulevard, those projects and the discussions, the programming of such is critically important, but we still need to move south. There's still a lot of development south of us, in particular Morrison Creek, that we're still having quite a bit of interaction and property damage at. No fatalities as of yet, thank God. But Caltrans has got an amazing amount of right-of-way from the Dr. Fine Bridge north to where we could have at least turn pockets, et cetera, that would alleviate a lot of what we see with this increased traffic issue from our success with tourism in our community.
Yeah, the Tullahua-Dany Nation right now is working on a significant planning study for that corridor, more tied to pedestrian safety, pedestrian and bicycle safety. So, you know, everybody's working on it. We're all acknowledging. I review those documents and am part of that, generally am part of that team too, though it is a Tullahua-Dany project, that planning process that they're moving through. Suresh is also a very big part of that. They have a transportation planning grant to help them with community convening and getting some ideas moving forward for that area.
And just to dovetail a little bit off of what Chris said, I mean, the numbers are just going to continue to grow. You know, we had this lull because of travel restrictions or people not traveling through the pandemic, but we're coming back, and we're approaching pre-2020 numbers, and we're gonna exceed those significantly as we see people traveling as an alternative. So one of the things that's come out of the pandemic is people have now discovered domestic travel again, and travel in vehicles and so forth. You know, where people were all thinking that vacation was to get on a plane and go someplace. Well, some of our patterns have changed, and that's to our benefit. So, you know, good work. Appreciate the continued engagement on that. Last chance.
I don't have anything new to report on last chance grade, though it is an area where I'm thinking about pulling from the overall work program. So something to think about down the road. We have a tiny bit of money and a focus on last chance grade, but we are the Regional Transportation Planning Agency, and the last chance grade is so far out of planning. I don't know that it makes sense for me to continue to sort of pull that out as a line item in the overall work program. So it's something that I'm thinking about. I mean, we do planning, but we also do programming and monitoring. But that project, Last Chance Grade, is so big, has become, thank you, so big and so visible that I don't know that we have a very specific role in it at this time. So just something that I'm toying around in my mind about. I haven't talked to Jamie Mattioli about Last Chance Grade in I don't know how long. So
I was a little frustrated because I had a long conversation with Matt Brady about Last Chance Grade last week, and there's been a strong push by the secondary group, not the stakeholders group, the secondary group specific to remain in the current alignment after these repairs take place. And that level of frustration I could sense from the director, at least our Region 1 director, was quite evident after all the efforts and work we've gone through with the stakeholders group to get to an alternative that would bypass an area we all know is failing. So to me, that was incredibly callous of some of those stakeholders to even suggest that. Where it goes, nobody knows. The director wasn't certain. So I'm a little frustrated by what I was told.
yeah, and this is the first I've heard about it.
I understood that they had a stakeholders meeting today.
It's a mitigation meeting going on right now at Cultural Center. I just got from there, yes.
Yeah.
And that's been my frustration attending those meetings as well, is that there's a big push to keep it on the same alignment, and I have not advocated that. So
Okay, I figured you wouldn't.
I got a chance to talk to John Driscoll there at the Cultural Center and express my similar concerns about that last chance great stakeholders meeting, where the environmental partners kind of suggested that they would be in favor of keeping it in the same alignment because you disturb less ground, basically saving more of the ecosystem, I guess.
Till the ecosystem's gone from underneath you.
Correct. So, but I kind of expressed my concerns to John
Okay.
Driscoll there, and he said, you know, the people throw ideas out there, and then they kind of vet it a little bit, and then they rein it back in a lot of times. So he said, I wouldn't really worry too much about it staying in the same alignment, or that is the direction that the conversation is going to go. There's going to be plenty more discussions about the two options. So hopefully we will, steer them off of last chance grade and get our bypass done.
Okay. Anything else?
Okay, and then our July
4th.
meeting date.
Yeah. I don't know, Tamara emailed all of us, I don't know if any of the rest of you responded. Moving it to the June 27th actually would be fine for me, especially if we can not have the June 6th meeting, because I will not be able to attend on June 6th. So I don't know if anybody else, June 27th, yeah, Chris is going to be out of the country. Darren?
It's good for me.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
That works for me.
Okay. Ray?
Yep.
Okay.
So I think that consensus
Okay.
to cancel the June 6th meeting and reschedule a special meeting for June 27th.
Right, and then
Provided
also
one of
cancel
us-
the July 4th meeting.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay. All righty. Anybody have anything else?
go ahead.
I just, from a reporting out standpoint, I think the commission should know that the city is moving forward with Front Street. Our Public Works Director confirmed last night we've gotten our bids in, and with the funding, that the CRISA funding, the funding through the Transportation Commission, the funding from the infrastructure bill from Congressman Huffman, we're going to be able to build 3 blocks of Front Street this year.
Okay.
And so thank you to this commission for that support and for the community. Obviously, there's not a bigger street, literally, that has the kind of challenges that Front Street does. And so that is one. And then finding out that RCTA was awarded the Transit Hub grant, $7 million to build the Transit Hub in the library parking lot. I mean, these are huge, huge wins
Yeah.
for our community.
Yeah, the partnership with Humboldt Transit Authority on that, lots of folks coming together, working with it, just lots of folks putting in a really good funding application. That moving transit is going to just be such a benefit to our transit-dependent folks.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to reiterate my thanks to this commission in partnering with us with the Front Street project. My understanding is the bid was close. If we didn't have this funding from this commission, we would not have a project. At least we wouldn't have 3 blocks. So thank you so much for partnering with us, and I look forward to getting that street just 3 more blocks closer to being completely completed.
So does the suspension on my truck.
Yes, and mine.
All right, anything else, anybody? All right.
We do have a community member attendee at this time, just
Okay.
as an update. So Suresh, you had, as a Policy Advisory Committee report, you had something to report?
Thank you, Tamara. So this is just Tamara asked me to give a little description of the State Highway System Management Plan, which is current. So let me just give you a little description about it. The 2023 State Highway System Management Plan presents a performance-driven and integrated management plan for California's state highway system. The plan integrates the maintenance, rehabilitation, and operation of the state highway system into a single management plan, which implements several state and federal asset management requirements with new resources from California Senate Bill 1, SB 1. This also allows Caltrans to align transportation investments with priority state climate, health, and social equity goals. The plan utilizes objective analysis to focus investments on measured condition and performance objectives. The historic asset-based funding approach has been replaced by a performance-driven methodology that provides greater local flexibility to achieve multiple objectives within a single project. The SHSLP investment plan considers factors such as existing conditions, system performance, pipeline of projects, legislative and legal mandates, consequence of inaction, climate change, and environmental stewardship to arrive at the proposed allocation of funding. The state highway system needs investments and resulting performance projections for the 10 years spanning July 2023 to June 2033 are presented in this plan. The plan also presents an unconstrained need, meaning it includes potential needs on the state highway system regardless of funding source, availability, and fiscally constrained investment plans. This plan also reflects expected outcomes from the significant increase in federal funding opportunities through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act signed into law in 2021. So there's a draft 2023 plan now available for public review, and feedback is being collected via an online survey available until March 15th. And I sent out the link to Tamara, so feel free to add your thoughts to this plan.
So I will forward that to you. I just received this email yesterday, otherwise I would have put it on the agenda. I will make it available. I can post it to my website, but I'll push it out by email. Let me just do a screen share here. So on the Strategic Highway Safety Management Plan, there are only two projects on there. I was a little bit taken aback. It's like, oh yeah, we have two projects. That makes sense to me. When I started thinking about what is the Strategic Highway Safety Management Plan. So I'll send that definition that Suresh just read so you can take a look at it yourself. There will be a link on there that you can collect, and you can make comment on the two projects. One of the projects is the water and septic systems at Collier Tunnel Rest Area. And the other project is paving of US 199 up to the Oregon border. And I don't know where the start line is on that, somewhere near Crescent City, but I don't know exactly where the beginning of the repaving is. So I pulled this up because I don't want folks to think this is it. These are the projects right now that you can see on the screen. And when I take a look at this, it's like, oh, I know what most of these projects are just by looking at these dots. It's like, oh yeah, I can see that. That's this is that, whatever. But when you click on one of these projects, and we'll do this one because, so the planned project under development, primary work on reactive safety. This is our US 199 Elk Valley Crossroad project. And so we can take a look at it. You can see the information that's here now. We just had our first project delivery team meeting. So it makes sense to me that there's very little information on this because we're just beginning with our first PDT meeting. So there's more projects on here, and you can just click through this and see the other projects. I think this is Dr. Fine, bridge replacement. Yeah, and so you can see the project information about this. And when you're taking a look at all these projects, I'm pretty up on all the little red dots that you'll see on here that are on the state highway system. But feel free to look through it, ask questions, whatever. So I wanted to give, you'll be seeing an email from me within the next probably 24 hours, and you'll have a better understanding about what that is.
Very good. Anything else? Anyone?
Let me get back to I'm not in Zoom. No, I'm in Zoom. Stop share. Let me just go back there. Okay, now I can see.
All right, then we will adjourn as the Policy Advisory Committee and reconvene as the Norte Local Transportation Commission. And I'll look for a motion to approve the items that we have done as Policy Advisory Committee.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment?
I don't see any public comment.
Close public comment then and ask, if you would please poll the vote.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Commissioner Borges,
Yes.
Commissioner Greeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Chair Inscore.
Yes. Very good. We will adjourn then until our special meeting on Tuesday, June 27th at 3 p.m. Thank you.